All right, so the meeting of the regular council for the city of Ellsworth for March the 25th, 2024. Say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, the first item on our agenda, we have consent agenda has the water and sewer termination request, along with the approval of March 11th city council meeting minutes.
We had one.
One water and sewer termination request. I do.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that. Council Coates has made a motion to approve the consent agenda to include the water and sewer termination request and approval of March 11 minutes. City Council, Council Renard has seconded that motion. Any concerns, any typos, anything you've seen? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Next part of our meeting, petitions and delegations. For all comments, please state your full name and whether you are an Ellsworth City resident. All comments are limited to 5 minutes per subject unless City Council has further questions. Is there anybody from the public that would like to make any comments today? No one today. Okay. No unfinished business. So moving on to new business, we've got one of our agenda items is the Bell Street parking. That is agenda item report 24-037. Dusty, you want to give us some background?
I'm also gonna invite Steve Bishop to come up to the front.
Sure.
Mr. Mayor. We've been working with Mark Gardner and Roger Weinhold, who are property owners off of 8th Street and Bell Street, which is close to 8th and Douglas. There's a parking lot that goes there. It's not a parking, stand corrected. It is a city road that goes between the Weinhold house and the Hay house. And then there's a property right at the end of that road that was just purchased. And Steve will tell you more.
Okay. At one time that street was known as Bell Street. It has not been used, but has never been vacated. Right now, it dead ends back into the woods. That property is currently owned by, well, at least according to appraising records, Mark Winter. And my understanding is he's going to be deeding that property over to his son-in-law. So, son-in-law has been back there cleaning out the area. The road, which was originally platted as a 60-foot road, right now, the way it sets between Roger Weinhold's property and the Hay property, you've got about 15 feet. It's tight. Mr. Weinhold had been parking in that area for a long time. And so we had spoke with him and advised him that we were going to recommend that that street be set as a no parking zone, and that 20 feet on each side of the street, 60, we could leave 20 in the middle of the street, 20 feet over to the Hay property, 20 feet over to the Weinhold property. That would be vacated on either side, giving it to the Weinhold and to Hay. Then we would have a 20-foot down the middle. That would give access to the people who are improving the area back in the back, right back there. I don't know if we need to put up no parking signs in there, since it is going to be a city street. Obviously, there's no room for parking and for passing by. And so that may come up that we would make a recommendation that we put signs up. Once you get back about 160 feet from the street, then it is then on private property. So that's it in a nutshell.
Okay. All right. Dustin, do you want to bring Mark up or do you want to?
Do you, Mark, Roger, did you want to come up and speak to council?
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, I can. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark, live here in Ellsworth. Yeah, I mean, I've got the deed now, so that must have been a week or so ago, it's been filed. We're just asking for access, not to be landlocked. That's all. We're building a garage back there to put our toys in to get them off of 8th Street there because of theft. So pretty much what we're doing is trying to get rid of the trees, clean the property up, get everything nice and neat, and to make sure I have unrestricted access. A lot of things that I think about when starting the project, one of the things that scares me about access now is breaking my toes on my left foot. I couldn't even have got an ambulance in due to a truck parked in the road. So that kind of scared me. My kids were running around when it happened. So I thought, if an emergency arose, I gotta have unrestricted access. Plus, I'm gonna have construction going on over the next few months, so I don't wanna damage anyone's property in the process. And then be held liable. So, I mean, that's really all my request is that I, no parking for one, and that I can have access in some way, shape or form. And then I can continue on with what I'm doing back there, so.
It is the city street right now.
It is a city street. What I need from council is two things, or what I'm requesting. The first thing is I'm requesting no parking so that I can enforce it, with your blessing. Number two, our proposal, like there's three options. We can tell the Hayes, or Jason and Christina Hay and, Roger Weinhold that they have to plow out all the work that they've had done, 20 feet encroachment on the city, and tell them they have to clear it up to 60 feet. Or the easier way, which is what we are proposing, is just vacating it 20 feet on either side.
So can Roger still pull off and park, or is there no room in there for that?
Well, there's 15 feet is all you got. I mean, until the last couple of weeks, there was brush, so it was probably a lot slimmer than that.
So on Roger's property, he has a place to park. He just has to clean up his driveway.
Okay,
And he's got plenty of land space on the other side of the house that he could park to. If he wanted to.
Is there have you guys been shown like on the plot maps what we're talking about, so they kind of have an idea? I have a copy if you'd like me to give it to them.
I know, yeah, I know what that. And then we can still get back there too, because we got a pole back there.
Yeah, and that's another thing is I have to have it cleared to have service, so. And they've always had a problem getting access to that location to begin with, so. Working with Mark Klein, yeah, I'm trying to get that solved too, so.
Is that the floodplain back in here too?
Yes, it is, yeah. And I've had it surveyed and the floodplain and everything, we're dealing with that too, because I gotta make sure I build outside of it and whatnot, so. Yeah, it comes about 40 feet into the property, about 160 altogether, but 40 feet of it's plain, so.
Is there anyone here that's against it?
Not to my knowledge.
Roger, did you want to speak to council?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
This news, I've never done it, so. No idea what I'm doing. The biggest thing is I parked there since 1967. But that's when our folks bought the place and I lived there. And we've always parked there, and with like Mark and Mark's dad, we always got along, got by everybody and all that stuff. I have no problem with that. It's just that I know where the property line goes, because when I bought the house 20 years ago now, it's right after I step out of my porch in the house and bam, that's it, and I have nothing. So the biggest thing is, I don't know where the boundary line is. The other thing is there's no definite boundary line out there. So that would need to be positively set up in there, because right now looking at it, it looks like I just step out of my garage even, just for the property I go by on it. So I got nothing if I had to park anywhere there. And I can't park on the street because that's a snow removal main street. So I can't sit out there on that part. That one thing. So the other thing is, if I make a street on the other side to park my vehicle over there on the west side of the house, I'll have to ask the gas company if I go across the lines right there, because I think there's some lines in there or something going across right in there, I don't know for sure. To make it, and then cut us access in there to get in there on that side for parking. The biggest thing is I just need a place to park. I can drive in my driveway and park, but I don't know where the boundary is, because I might be, my back of my truck might be sticking out in the new proposed street. Because I don't know, you know, if it does it go this way or does it go that way? There's no really, I mean, it's not been mapped out.
Can we have it surveyed?
Yes, we can.
I was saying, if
At our
you're in your
expense.
driveway, visually, are you out of the way?
On what now?
If like you're next to your garage, are you out of the way visually, from a visual aspect?
Yeah, because I mean, you got so much room, but I mean, but the problem is, I don't know what the length is in there, because see, if they move over, I might not have enough room to put a truck in there. That's what I'm saying.
I think they're gonna give you 20 feet on that side, right?
Right,
An extra
but
20 feet, so
If we
he should be able
choose-
to park, he can park in his 20 feet,
Yes.
but he can't park in the center 20 feet. Well, that should still give you plenty of parking there, Roger.
it should, I'm not arguing with that, but I mean, I'm just trying to figure out where the line of my, what's mine and what is it?
Right.
And how much of that, is gonna be added to that, so, will I have an advantage to park there? That's the problem.
Right.
Right, you know, cause I knew it was that way. I knew it was a street ever since we've ever lived there. My grandfather bought the place back in 1950 or 51. And it's always just been a dirt gravel road back there. No one's ever done nothing to it. I mean, well, I remember when we moved there, they had to put the asphalt right there on the end to get out of the driveway because it was washed out really bad. And, my neighbor doesn't live there now, but where Hay lives now, they used to have a camper and they'd come back in there in the back lot and park back in there. And we had a camper, we parked right there on the side, a 16-footer on the side there, but there was always room, everybody walked right and worked out. And we always had room to get by. It never did, you know, have any problem with it.
If we're gonna change the easements there or change the amount, we're gonna have to have it surveyed anyway.
Yes.
So it's gonna be surveyed and pinned. If you ask them, they'll probably reach park down, they'll let you know exactly where it is.
But that would be a nice thing to know because like I said,
Yeah, you should know that anyway, I think.
all I've ever done when I transferred title over to me from my brother's sister was the fact of what they showed me on the old, you know, plot.
Right.
Where it was at. So I have, and that's what I went with on it.
So we can solve that by having it surveyed.
I'll have the roads surveyed, yes.
Yeah, okay, sounds good.
So is that the direction for the council, is to get it surveyed? And, I know,
I just don't wanna put Roger out from where he's been parking for the last 30 years.
I can understand that, but now that we've got a new property owner in the back, they do need access to their property. And that's,
So by survey, you're gonna have, he doesn't have room to get by.
well, right now with the what current physical road, he doesn't. So I've asked him to not park there.
Right.
Gotcha. It sounds like it's a survey, bring it to the council.
Okay.
Is that fair, Roger?
So in the meantime, can you work around that block and as a road of access while I get the survey done?
Yeah, sure. I have no problem. I
Because he
just, my
still
biggest
needs-
concern was like now when it's snowing out there, am I gonna be in trouble for parking out there with snow removal? If we get that much snow.
Yeah,
Cause I'm sitting out in the snow road right now.
yeah, I understand the conundrum.
On that part, that was my biggest problem. And if somebody slides down or something, then I'm gonna, you know, have a vehicle run into it or something like that. That's the only, that's the biggest thing. Cause I know that just all the years I've lived there, I've people put that telephone pole and that coming down the hill at times on that.
Mark, are you willing to be patient with him? Because on days where we have snow removal, he has a valid point. He has nowhere to park and he's working on his stuff and we're working.
Yeah,
on
that's absolutely okay. And to bring to a point that hasn't been brought up, if there wasn't a bunch of debris and trash and what you have, he could have a place to park right now today.
Yes, I know that. We've already had that discussion with him. He knows.
So would we be responsible for cleaning that up or?
No.
Okay. So the burden would ultimately be on Roger.
Yes,
And
to clean up the stuff.
Once
At
it's
least
surveyed.
I'll work on the survey.
Yeah, he would know, hey, I've got this. Okay.
And I've already talked to him about it, so he knows what is expected
Well, like,
on the cleanup stuff.
sound good, Roger? Council, you okay with it? All right. All right,
All right,
that's
well,
good.
thank you all
Thank you.
both.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Mitch.
You're welcome. Next item on the agenda, Article D and E of the Personnel Policies and Procedures.
I'm continuing my mission of updating the personnel procedure, policies and procedures. This is D and E. Some noticeable improvements, insurance company went over it and said I need to add clauses regarding cell phone usage while in vehicle operation. We'll talk to police and fire, make an exception for them because they do have to talk while moving, so I've at least met them halfway and I want a hands-free place while they're doing it. And then seat belts will be used at all times unless there's a medical reason. Those are the two things that the insurance company would need to add when they came to evaluate us. Our workman's comp folks came and visited me last week and they looked it over, but the other one that I think is important to point out is, I added a credit card use policy in D5. And the credit card use basically states that after 1 month, if personal purchases show up on our account more than one of the that's one of the hope is that we can have a more spelled out plan on how to manage our credit card purchases, and I've also got an internal policy letter as well to help us manage our credit card stuff. And that it's just continuing to work my way through the manual and define things.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the Article D and Article E of the personnel policies and procedures.
Second.
Council Bernard has made a motion to approve Article D and Article E of personnel policies and procedures. Councilor Hanson had seconded that motion. Any debate, any concerns with the policy personnel manual? No, okay. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. We're going to approve the Article D and Article E of the personnel policies and procedures. Leading us to the next part of our meeting, which is the department head update. Officer Weigel, do you have anything?
No, this time.
All right, Steve, do you have anything?
No, not this time.
All right, Dave, do you have anything?
No,
Anybody else out there? Could I see? No, that's it, okay. City attorney, Patrick, do you have anything?
Nope.
Okay. City clerk, Callie? Nothing, okay. City administrator, Dustin?
No, I'll send out a newsletter this week, Mr.
All
Mayor.
right. We got your city council, Tyler, do you have anything?
No, I don't.
Okay. Council president Coates, do you have anything?
I do not.
All right. Counselor Johnson, do you have anything?
No.
Councilman Panther, do you have anything?
I just have one question. I've been asked, what is our city ordinance concerning barking dogs? And I don't know what the city ordinance is on that for sure. It seems to be a problem on town and you see it on Facebook, a lot of people complain about it. Plus I've had people ask me, and I don't know exactly what the policy is.
I will get you a policy for that, Don, and give me some time to research
Okay,
that.
that's all I like to be able to review that.
I would also like to let you know that people have the option on our 311. We pay $2,000 a year for the online option. People can go to our website at ellsworthks.net. And there's a button right in the front here that says report a concern. And when they go to that, they can report barking dog as well. So
And then the other thing is, do we have an ordinance about using your front yard to park vehicles? We don't have an ordinance, if I remember correctly. Is that right?
I will have to research that for you. I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
So the two ordinances John, the two ordinances, let me just make sure that I write this down because I'll forget. So, the two ordinances that I know that you're looking for is one for barking dogs, and then two is for
Parking vehicles
and park and
off the driveway in the front yards, cattywampus in the front yard, everything. And have them jacked up, working on them in the front yard, stuff like that.
got it. I will research those two.
Okay.
Jump in on that too. I was thinking we had a city ordinance that all trash has to be bagged.
Okay,
Can you look into that? Because I've been getting people's trash in my yard and I don't care for it. You have your address on there. I guess I could just take it back to your house. For your business.
I also got a complaint today about trash piling up by the lumber.
Yeah, it's that time of year. Yeah. I may walk up and pick it up. I'm thinking about it.
You're not the first person who's expressed that to me.
Well, the guy that farms there, he's picking it up for too.
Oh, the fence there and everything, yeah.
Sticking.
All right. So 1 for barking dogs, 2 for parking vehicles, and working on vehicles in front yards, and 3 trash will be bagged.
Yeah.
I'll research if they are, and if they aren't, I guess I'll write.
Yeah, Councilman Vanson, we do have a noisy animal ordinance, it's on the books. It's a difficult thing to charge, just because it's can be somewhat objective criteria, how noisy is too noisy and how you define it. And I'm not against, I think there's a time and place where I'd be happy to take those charges. I mean, maybe not happy, might not be the word I wanna use. I'd be willing to take that on, but it is somewhat subjective, so that's why we don't charge a lot. But it's on the books in case something outrageous is happening.
It's something visual, like every day or.
Yeah, I mean, like if someone, talk to the city office, possibly the police department, we'll figure out how to deal with that.
Okay.
Is it
Sounds-
They're on themselves. Okay, so Donald, you have anything else? No, okay. Darcy, did you have anything?
No.
Okay, Mayor, Crisley Park, what is the update on that?
There
Did
is,
you, did you guys meet with Carlton? Remember you're gonna meet like Wednesday after the meeting?
yeah, I talked to Carlton, and I need to get back with you on that.
Okay,
And just so you know, I called our representative, Waymaster, and I'm gonna put him on the ball. I thought, okay, we've been dicking around. I got a call into him, I called his office. And I didn't actually talk to anybody about that message, our concerns. And hopefully they'll respond back, but I thought, let's go a little step higher, and I got a hold of Mr. Waymaster.
Okay,
So, I'd like to see what he has to say about the situation.
all right.
yeah, not a bad idea.
Okay.
So that was Crisley Park Citizenship Award, how are we doing on that?
I've got the policy written out. Did you guys like it the way it was? Or, I'm all right with it the way it was written, unless you got any other updates.
I think what Karen had some thoughts, didn't she? Boner? So let's take a look at it.
All right, so get with Karen.
Yeah, she was at the last meeting or 2 meetings ago. And she was like, she kind of
Oh, I know we wanted.
hit her radar and she started shooting an email back to us.
Yeah, I know.
I know what it was. She talked about joining with the Ellsworth, Grow Ellsworth to do the ceremony during their banquet, which is actually Wednesday of this week, I think. So in the future, that was one idea. Then there were some other ideas she threw around there you really liked. So we'll just kind of maybe revisit it. and-
Sure.
All right. And then the third thing I had was, my article did come out finally, and I kind of talked about volunteer opportunities in Ellsworth. People liked it, but one of the ideas is I wrote this back in November, was the cat situation, which came up at the last meeting, but what's happening, it became clear in the last meeting, there are people who are duplicating their efforts. You know, I mean, I got hit up back in October for someone who's already been taking them to different vet's office and all those things, spending money, so they know what each vet will do and what they won't do. So it's a matter of getting those cat people all together. You know, we got the housing meeting, but if you could, I think if you can get them all together and let them start to collaborate. Because what's happening is there are 2 or 3 that are, you know, that they can all get together, pick a leadership team and knock it out. But that became clear to me, like those groups didn't know about the other groups, so.
I did get contacted from one of them asking me for advice on how to set up a nonprofit, and I
Yeah.
advised her that it is not, that's not something I can advise her on.
Sure.
Told her she needs to get with an attorney or get with a.
Yeah.
Get with a, tax person, someone
Yeah.
else.
But it was Bonnie, how do you pronounce her last name, former sheriff's wife?
Wow.
Clouds, yeah, I spoke to her in October for an hour and a half about it. She's already done all that, which they talked about March 11th, so we can get her with them, get them all kind of rolling, that'd be great, so.
Yeah, they seem to be collaborating. I
Yeah.
noticed I'm on their mailing list now, so that's good.
So, very good, that's all I have, and it looks like, I guess we're gonna have an executive session tonight,
I'm requesting
okay? And how long do you want and who do you want?
20 minutes, just council, attorney, and
Okay, all right, I'll be the most,
mayor, council.
Big 20 is not good.
Yeah, by the time people get out of this.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to go into executive session to discuss attorney-client privilege for the purpose of discussing personnel matters related to non-elected personnel, to include the governing body, the city administrator, and the city attorney, and come out at 6:20.
I will second that.
All right, Council Coates has made a motion to, go into executive session for attorney-client privilege for the purpose of discussing personal matters related to non-elected personnel. Council Renard has seconded that motion. We also want to come out at 6:20. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. We're going to executive session.